Know your Lord. We learn about his names and his attributes. Know your Lord. What he approves and disapproves. Know your Lord. Believe in all things that he has brought forth. Know his oneness, Lord.
Know Your Lord, part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid, right here on Sunnahfollowers. Being taught by Ustada Layla Nashiba as she lays down the foundations to get you together. Learn about your Lord. Know your Lord. Streaming on all major platforms. Channel Sunnahfollowers. Assalamu alaikum. Get to know your Lord. First part of the Right Belief series by Sheikh Kareem Abu Zaid. This dynamic literary work of art's main goal is to revive an understanding the names and attributes of Allah. And understanding the name and attributes of Allah will elevate our faith, strengthen us, and keep us steadfast. This wonderful book is now available in an audiobook format and can be found free of charge on YouTube, channel Kareem Abu Zaid. Get to know your Lord. You have nothing to lose.
YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. We're going to speak about shirk. Shirk is an Arabic word. It has many different meanings. We're going to focus in today on the meaning of disbelief. Disbelief in Allah due to origination. That's what we're going to speak about today. What do I mean by that? How a lot of people disbelieve in Allah when it comes to himself, because they think that Allah originated from the creation. You may have heard that. We're going to talk about that. So let's take a look at this topic. So associating partners with Allah happens in many different ways. A lot of us associate partners with Allah in regards to his name and attributes. By giving Allah the attributes of his creation, as well as the act of giving created beings his names and his attributes. And like I said, there's three categories of this type of disbelief. The first one is people associate partners with Allah in regards to how he originated. We're going to focus on that today. Also in deification and also in denial. Different types of shirk. We have to understand that Allah is perfect. Allah is free of any mistakes, free of any imperfections. Allah is above and independent of his creation. Remember, guys, he created everything that exists. And he didn't come from anything that he created. So it's not permissible in Islam to name Allah with the name of his creation, or to attribute to him something from the characteristics of something he created. What are examples? Well, like the Christians do. The Christians refer to Allah as the Father. Now, this is a question that one of the new Shahadas asked Dr. McBride a couple of weeks ago. They asked Dr. McBride, could they refer to Allah as the Father? And he told them, no, we don't do that. Because this is likening him to his creation. This is associating partners with him. We don't refer to Allah as the Father. Also, it's associating partners with him when we refer to him as Mother Nature. How many of you have heard people say, oh, Mother Nature is angry today. That's why we have this tornado. Oh, you don't want to mess with Mother Nature. Allah is not Mother Nature. Astaghfirullah. Okay, so these are some examples of labeling Allah or his attributes with qualities that are imperfect and qualities that are non-eternal, qualities that will perish. So for the new shahadas out there, you never refer to Allah as our father. Our father. He's not your father. Okay? You never refer to Allah as Mother Nature. Okay? So this is a very important point that every Muslim should understand. Also, another example, we have this wonderful hadith and also verses of the Quran, whereas the Jews, they tried to liken Allah to his creation. A group of them gathered together, and this is what they said. They said, Allah says in the interpretation and the meaning, they said, indeed, Allah is poor while we are rich. And they made that comment when Allah sent down the verses of the Quran, speaking about the virtues of loaning in the giving a loan in the name of Allah, giving a loan to help another person for the sake of Allah. So the Jews called themselves being funny. They said, oh, your Lord is poor. Why don't we give him a loan? We'll give him a loan. How can y'all worship a Lord that's poor? So Allah then sent down these verses where he says in the interpretation of the meaning, do not sit in the company of those who practice deviation concerning Allah's names. Okay, we can't sit in the company of people, who refer to Allah with deviant names and deviant attributes, because this is disbelief. So whenever we associate others with Allah and his names, such as calling him the name of an idol, referring to him as being Zeus or Apollo, for example, this is deviation and this is disbelief. So again, I want you guys to remember that. Be careful of the words that we choose to use as Muslims. You don't want to ever refer to Allah as Mother Nature or the father of mankind or any of that. Okay? Also, images, making up images to depict Allah. This is another form of disbelief. This is another form of shirk. You want to make up a painting of how you think Allah looks. You guys see a lot of that from the Christians. They'll draw a picture of a man with long blonde hair, blue eyes, and say, this is God. Astaghfirullah. Remember, guys, Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, do not assert similarities to Allah. Indeed, Allah knows and you do not know. We don't go around trying to liken him to his creation on a physical level either. Allah negates attributes that imply imperfection or fault. When we say that Allah has a son, like the Christians do, this is shirk. That Allah has a lineage. This is shirk. That Allah becomes tired. How many of you have heard people say that? The Christians say that Allah rested on the seventh day because he was tired. This is an attribute that Allah doesn't have. Allah never becomes tired. So if you say something like that, Allah rested on the seventh day, this is disbelief. Okay? Or that Allah sleeps. The Jews have sayings like that. They claim that Allah likes to sleep. Astaghfirullah. This is an imperfection. Allah is greater than all of that. Or again, to say that Allah resembles his creation with the blonde hair, blue eyes, and all of that. So again, guys, shirk. There's different levels of associating partners with Allah. There's different levels of disbelieving in him. And we have to be very careful to not violate any of that. Okay? When you find people referring to Jesus, alayhi salam, as being the son of Allah, this is another example of shirk or disbelief or association of partners. Okay? As Allah tells us in the interpretation of the meaning, he has not taken any son, nor has there ever been with him any deity. And again, we have different categories of Christians, different sets of Christians, but the majority of them will refer to Jesus as being the Son of God. This is a sacrilege. This is a lie against Allah. This is disbelief in him. Does everybody understand that? Okay, so we never refer to Allah as the Father, as our Father who art in heaven. Oh, no. Remember, somebody asked that question a couple of weeks ago. Somebody asked, can they recite that prayer, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. This is shirk, because Allah is not our Father. Allah has no wife, no children. Okay. And he also doesn't resemble anything that he created. Another example of shirk would be to also deny Allah's names, to deny his attributes. Remember, Allah says in the interpretation of the meaning, indeed, those who disbelieve in Allah and in his messengers, and who wish to discriminate between Allah and his messengers, they say we believe in some and we disbelieve in others, and they wish to adopt a way in between. They are the unbelievers. They are the unbelievers, and we have prepared for the unbelievers a humiliating punishment. So again, guys, we do not deny any of Allah's names. We do not deny any of his attributes. Yes, he is the Most High. Yes, where is Allah? Allah is not here. Allah is not everywhere. Allah is above his throne. And yes, he does come down during the last third of every night. But do we ask how he does that? No. Allah has capabilities that we can't even imagine. We don't deny his names. We don't deny his attributes. Yes, Allah can hear, but can we try to attribute what type of ears he has, what color they are, if they're 2, 3, 4? He doesn't mention anything about what type of ears he has. So we don't attribute that to him. To do that would be to disbelieve in him.